Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you the 1 year update on my Carolina Sapphires. Last year I decided to plant some Carolina Sapphires. I had no idea what this plant was. I've never even heard of it. And I was walking through my locally owned nursery and I saw this really pretty blue evergreen. And I was just captivated by it because down here in zone 8B or 9A, you just don't get blue plants like that, except for maybe a gray owl juniper. So I did some research on this plant and apparently it grows extremely fast. And it is native to Arizona or the desert Southwest, but it absolutely thrives and loves all of the moisture we get here on the East Coast. So the business behind where I live expanded their business and they cut down all the trees which were a visual barrier between their business and our residents. And doing that, I don't want to look at all this orange and yellow equipment. So what I decided to do was plant some fast-growing, privacy screening plants. And I was going to do arborvitaes, but they don't get as tall as I really wanted because the machines behind the house are like those big boom lifts that you, change signs along the interstate or work on street lights or whatever it is that you use them for. And they just sit up in the air all day and it's very unattractive. So what I did was when I went online to inquire about this Carolina Sapphire, I think they're called, are they junipers? Oh, they're cedars, I think. Anyway, I went online and did some research and realized that these sapphires just grow huge and really fast. I think they grow faster than our thujas or a thuya, which is an arborvitae. But when I found out that these plants can grow up to 3 feet a year once they're established and how tall they can get, I was really impressed. So I went out and bought, I can't even remember, I think 12, 13, I don't remember. I also put them along the street. I also put them along the ditch in the front yards of the rental properties on both sides. But I would have been impressed how much they have grown in just 1 year. So it's really noisy where I live, and that's why I'm talking to you in my kitchen, is that when I walk outside, you'll probably hear a train, you'll probably hear heavy equipment, you'll probably hear a loud motorcycle or a loud muffler or something. So I'm just gonna walk you back there and let you see how much they grew. If you didn't see it, I'll put the link for the first video when I planted these last year down below in the description box. But when you see me put these plants in the ground in that video, they were only up to my knees. So let's go out here and see how big they have gotten. All right, we're going out the front door. There he is, the star of the show, the most beautiful dog in the world. Isn't that right, Oliver? So I don't care. Okay, apparently he doesn't care. So these are thuyas. These are green giant arborvitaes or thujas. I can't remember. But anyway, I planted these arbs last year. And they haven't doubled in sizes. They haven't grown as fast as the Carolina Sapphires. All right, I know. Quit talking. Let's go. So I've got several different shrub trees, but you see how big everything is, and yellow and orange. Not my colors, guys, but look how big these have gotten. Look at this. Because if you remember, they were just building that building when I put it in a year ago. Look at this. Look how tall that is. I guess you can't gauge it till I stand in front of them. So I'm going to put the camera down and go stand in front of these trees. That way you can see how big they've gotten in just 1 year. This one, all of these I planted last year. I think I had to replace 2. Because if you saw the first video, all this is like that hard clay. And it took me forever to chip out holes just to put these in. And these things are living in very harsh conditions. The soil is not very friendly. It's got a lot of clover and St. Augustine grass growing. And, you know, they're out here. They get full sun probably after 10 o'clock in the morning, once the sun comes over, because that's due east. And the sun comes over those pine trees. And then they start getting sun about 11 o'clock. So let me stand in front of these and show you. I'm 5'7", and if you remember in the first video, these things were probably right up to my knee. 1 year's growth, people. Isn't that insane how fast they grow? Now, I did have to replace a couple of them, and that's because I planted them. You can see the shorter ones. Those are the ones I had to replace because I thought they were drought tolerant, more so than they actually were. I didn't let them get established, and so, you know, a couple of them died, and that was my fault. Lack of maintenance. Well, let's go look at them. Look at all the new growth that these are putting on just this spring. All of that in one spring. Look at that. Look how blue that foliage is. See, here in the south we don't get that. Look at all that new foliage. Isn't that crazy? I don't see any berries or cones on them. More new growth. You can see that it's new because they're not fluffy. It's just all compact, and they'll open up and look fresh like that. Looks good. Look at all that new growth. Oh gosh, just in the last couple of months. Insane. I highly recommend this plant as a screening plant. I can't imagine what this is going to look like next year at this time. It's May. I think I planted the other ones in May as well. But you see, these little, all of that. Look at this one. This one is a nice full one. It is a pretty plant. And if you look really close, you can see how they're starting to separate. Let's get it over here. And look how icy blue that is. Let's look at it from this direction. I highly recommend the Carolina Sapphire. Now pretty soon these will be tall enough to cover most of this. I'm thinking that once they finish all the concrete work, that they're going to move these booms out front, because usually they are out front in these heavy equipment places and have American flags and rent me signs and things like that. When I think they don't have enough water, what I do is I take a sprinkler out here, one of those little round discs where the water comes out, and I just put it on just, I don't know, babbling brook setting for 20 minutes each plant, and they seem to do real good. Now the thing is with these plants is they are not going to wilt when they get thirsty, and that's also what threw me. They weren't wilting, so I just assumed everything was okay. Conifers just don't wilt like regular plants do when they need water, so they start, their needles start turning brown, and generally by then it could be too late, so just be mindful of that. But this is an absolutely beautiful plant. They will touch. I can't remember if I planted these 6 or 8 feet apart, but this is absolutely gorgeous. And I left enough room to where I could get the lawnmower in later and mow around the back. And pretty soon I won't have to mow in between, but for right now I do. But again, I just cannot express to you how much I love this plant. So here's what it looks like straight on. Okay, so there you have it, guys. You saw how amazing that plant is. If I had my way, I would just, if I had the room, I would just enclose all 3 properties in Carolina Sapphires. But unfortunately, our lots are long and skinny, and I can't put them on the sides. I can only do them in the front. And hopefully within about 2 years, you won't be able to see the street, and you won't be able to see all that heavy equipment in the back. I don't know what that company is going to do as far as fencing, but I know where the property line is and where a privacy fence versus a security fence, which is like a chain link with the barbed wire that goes over the top, and a privacy fence is where you can't see through it. I don't know what they're going to put up. I talked to the project manager, and he said that he would really go to bat for me and try to get up a privacy fence. But if it ends up being a security fence, I won't regret planting these plants regardless of what kind of fencing goes up. But preferably, just to knock down the noise, I would like a privacy fence, because the noise would deflect off of it. But if I don't get my way, which it happens, at least I have something pretty to look at, and it may not deflect all the noise. I don't know if it would even buffer something that loud out there. As you can see, it's going to be pretty despite the type of fence that we get. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will show you the Carolina Sapphires in a year, and to see what they look like in a year, please hit that bell button so you get a notification when those videos come out. And don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel a lot. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next.